Hey good people, welcome to Mommy Room Redo. I'm Monique and I'm here to help you design homes that you'll love and your kids will enjoy. In this episode, I'm going to make my version of this Bed Bath & Beyond Easter tree. Let's get started. You will need a styrofoam cone. I use the one that's 18 inches tall, but it comes in all sizes. Moss. I already had it, but you can get it from Michael's or Hobby Lobby. And I added a couple of what I call picks. So you'll see the giant Easter egg, which I used as a topper, the bunny ears, and the bunny feet. And of course you need the styrofoam eggs. You can get them at Michael's. I used about 4 packs. You also need a glue gun, glue sticks, and I decided to use some gold paint as a base, but that can be optional. As a first step, I just painted the styrofoam cone gold. I did this first because it would give it time to dry while I prepped the Easter eggs to attach them. Even though it was spring, it was pretty cold on the day that I tried this, but I made it work. So the styrofoam is now dried, and our next move is to add the eggs on. What I decided to do was to cut the eggs in half because I think they'll fit more snug in half than they will if they're whole. Plus, you use a lot less of these if you cut them in half. So I just want to give you an example of how to cut them in half. They're made out of styrofoam. So you'll see a little notch on the bottom, and that's the nail or pin that goes through the egg. So you want to cut next to it, but you're not going to be able to cut through it, of course. So you stick your knife in or your saw, and you just cut down. Hold it tight. Be careful because you could injure yourself. And you want to make sure you cut all the way through. Don't pull, because there is a covering on top of the egg, and if you pull it, you're liable to rip the covering off. So you want to cut straight through. And like I said, there's a nail or a pin that goes through the middle, and that's what you'll see when you cut it open. So if you were using a machine of some sort, they would be absolutely even, but because we're human and we're just using our hands, we're going to have to sand them down to get them smooth on the bottom and somewhat even in height. So that was an example of a large egg. Here's a smaller egg, same concept. You look for that little notch in the middle, and you put your saw or your knife by it. You hold that egg super tight, and you turn and cut. Turn and cut. Turn and cut. Again, you just want to make sure you cut all the way through and you don't pull, so that you don't rip off the top covering. The next part is just smoothing it out. So I finished sanding all of the egg pieces, and I kept the droppings from the sanding. I'm trying to keep it away from the eggs that I plan to glue so that I don't get all the dust on the final product. And I put them all in the same direction. So remember I told you there was a nail or some kind of tack on the bottom. So I put all the nail pieces face down so that all of them will look pretty consistent. So the thinner part of the egg will be facing up on this styrofoam. Again, I colored it or spray painted it gold. My living room chandelier is gold, but also I felt like as we put the eggs on, there'll be some pieces showing, and I didn't want the white styrofoam to show. So we can get started with the glue. Here I'm demonstrating how you attach those eggs to your styrofoam using the glue gun. As you attach the eggs, make sure they're very close together and nice and secure. You should mix them up in advance so that you're not stopping to see which color goes next. It'll make the process go a lot faster. You'll also notice that you use quite a few glue sticks with this process, so I suggest you buy a large pack. And also be very careful because that glue gun gets really hot, especially as the time passes. So just be careful because I burned my finger as I was doing this project. And that's the first row, and you just continue this process all the way up. So I had to use 4 packs of eggs and cut them in half to get it up to the 6th row with large eggs. Then I reduced the size to the smaller eggs for the last 3 rows. I'm going to use the remaining small eggs for another project I have in mind. So tune into that. I'll be doing an Easter wreath and I will add these eggs to it. But for now, this Easter tree has all of the eggs that we need. As you saw, I put the eggs on with the glue gun. The glue gun that I have is really hot. So I burned myself quite a few times. And so now I'm going to add some extra touches. So I'm going to top it off with this large egg. I'm going to put some glue on the stick. I already made the hole before I even painted it. So I'm going to put that down in there. So that's our topper. Straighten it out a bit. Okay, awesome. Then I'm going to add some other pieces that I think will be pretty fun. Some rabbit's feet and some ears for Easter. This is where I'm adding the picks. What I do is I clip them down to ensure that the stick doesn't go through the other side of the cone, but you also have to make sure it's not too short. I test it out first, so I stick the picks in just to make sure I'm satisfied with the location, and then I add the glue after I settle on where I'd like to put them first. And so now I'm pretty satisfied. Right here, I'm looking throughout the Easter tree just to fill in any spaces between the eggs. So I place the glue and then I put the moss on top. After I place the moss everywhere that I want it to go, then I give my Easter tree a haircut just to make it look neat and to get rid of any stragglers. So here you have it. This is our DIY Easter tree, and you can compare it yourself to the one that you purchased from Bed Bath & Beyond. I know one thing is for sure, if you purchase it, you certainly won't get the experience of creating your own Easter tree. It's lots of fun and a great activity for moms and kids. Thanks for tuning in. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a video. Take care.